Hey, I'm in an undisclosed location, thinking about second thoughts in Dallas Willard with my special guest, Lord Turner, but I'm having second thoughts about this because so much of what she says is not true. For example, when she went to college at Westmont College, she actually told a class that at Christmas time, I used to force the children to listen to me while I read through passages from books I had written.
I did
If you
see
ever
that.
went to Westmont, I
did.
never did anything like that. I never would do
a
anything
boring
like that.
Christmas party. You know, sometimes you got to say things, liven up the conversation.
Truth is always an idea.
Well, no, it's fine.
Okay.
Well, I'm here today with the passage from our special friend Dallas Willard, who I don't know if you knew this. He wrote Austin Powers. Did you know that? That was a special thing he did.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Man of mystery.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well.
His prayer was, well, I can't repeat the words here, but watch Austin Powers. You'll see.
Good to know.
So we talked a little bit, and I found a passage from Dallas that I think was written by a woman who went to a retreat that he led. She wrote about it online. She's a reverend, I think, in the Episcopal Church, at a church in Maine. And she wrote a little bit about something that I've leaned on a lot in the last few years, which is Psalm 42. And so I was trying to find something that Dallas had written that kind of connects back to that. And as she was reflecting on her time with him years ago now, she recorded and wrote down in her journal something he said, which I'm sure he's written in other ways in his books. But she said he had told the group, I must be willing to be uncomfortable for a while if I want to be released from whatever it is that has bound me. I must be willing to be uncomfortable for a while if I want to be released from whatever it is that has bound me. And this morning, there's a creek nearby. You actually might be able to hear it. It's pretty loud right now.
It's a rushing river right at the moment.
Well, and in California, we're not so used to, all the rain that we've had this winter. It's been kind of weird. It's not as gnarly as weather in other places, but for us, it's been kind of strange. And when I walked out to the creek this morning to kind of take a look at it, there are two sort of arms that come together, and there's a big rushing waterfall, and what looked like most of a tree had gotten stuck in one of the waterfall areas, and it was kind of in between two rocks, just bobbing there, like somewhere it had gotten stuck, but it had come loose before from, I don't know, the top of the mountain. And for a time, it ended up right here. And I was thinking of, which I often do when I go to this creek, the part of Psalm 42, hold it up on my Bible app so I can make sure I get it right, where the psalmist talks about, now it's asking me if I love the Bible app. And who says no to that? Who's going to say no, they don't love the Bible app?
Especially those of you involved with the Bible app.
Yeah, well, I do love it, but I'm not going to rate it right now. Okay.
Terry, way to go.
Yeah, thanks, Terry. I'll rate it later. But the part of Psalm 42, which is a real psalm of lament and deep sadness and despair, the time that it really meant a lot to me, and I memorized it and said it a lot. Oh, there's a little face right there. My son is at the window. He, in the Psalms, just really deeply expresses words of despair, and he says, deep calls to deep at the thunder of your cataracts. All your waves and your billows have gone over me. The thunder of your cataracts being like a waterfall, something I didn't know. I thought it was just like something that you get in your eyes. Yeah. And
when you get to be my age.
When you get to be your age or, a little younger. And I thought a lot about, in the time of that, like, deep despair, how much I didn't want to be willing to be uncomfortable. And I had to be. There was like no moving away from that. I had gone through a bunch of miscarriages in a row. I got pregnant, and then that one stuck and became this 5-year-old kid who's staring at us right now.
Destroying the shutters.
But it was a terribly hard pregnancy. And anyways, I thought I'd ask you what you think of when you hear that kind of like think of that tree that's stuck,
Mm.
that willingness to be uncomfortable
Mm.
when you feel like the cataracts of God are going
Mm.
over you.
Mm.
What does that look like for you? What does that make you think of?
Yeah. Um, Makes me think about times when somebody I love is suffering. It makes me think a lot about being out of control and those moments when I'm afraid something really bad might happen, and it might happen, and sometimes it does. And um, he's someone has discovered my stash
Two
of protein bars,
one in each hand.
and he's asking if he can have some.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Yeah, come on out.
Come on. And I think the deep calling part is, for some strange reason I don't fully understand, when life is normal, quote unquote, or it feels in control, I often don't feel that same desperate sense for God and awareness of God, or at least awareness of my need for God.
Yeah,
You
come here.
can. And in those moments when there is pain or there's danger and it really matters and it involves somebody that I love. Yes.
If you wanted one, you could have that one.
Thank you. I'll have this one. This is a wonderful protein bar, but we're not doing product placement today. I was just saying that sense of when things are really out of control can be when I'm aware of God in at least a different way. Yeah. And I remember with that psalm, somebody saying, I don't know if it's taken from this or not, but if you're at a place where there's a real strong waterfall, you hear it thundering, feel it thundering on the earth, and you can actually feel it inside you. And that idea of what is out there actually resonates with something deep inside here. And so that thought of in the deep places of life, including deep pain, it's possible to meet God in deep ways. And when I look back on it, I think about those times for you. I think about moments of getting a phone call when there was really bad news. And then looking back and saying, somehow, although it doesn't mean everything turned out right, God was there and God is faithful. And I remember again that I need him, and I would be able to be with you in deep places of pain in ways that we wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah, and I think there are times in life when it doesn't matter or not if you're willing to be uncomfortable, you just are.
Yeah.
Because circumstances force you to be. If you're in deep grief or there's a lot of uncertainty about what's ahead, or someone that you love is suffering or you're suffering. But then I also think when things are a little more okay, one of the pieces of wisdom I feel like I'm leaning into a little more these days is that daily willingness to be uncomfortable, or daily practicing. I want so much to be in control. I want this person to think a certain way of me. I want all the work I have to do to be done in exactly the way that I, would think was best. I want my kid to not interrupt a video being filmed, or I want him not to have a tantrum when I'm trying to do what I feel like is the right thing for him. I want so much that I can't control, and I have to believe that the practice for that in these daily moments helps me prepare for that other Dallas quote about the best thing that God gets out of your life is who you become. And in those really hard moments when I can't control being uncomfortable, that I have practiced it for a little while. Sometimes just by breathing in and out and knowing that God is with me has been really helpful. Or thinking today about that tree that's stuck and how the tree can't do anything about it. Like it's powerless over its circumstances. And a lot of times I like to think I have some control, and I don't. I'm kind of like that tree that just, I am where I am each day, and I can get stuck in a lot of pain if I don't have a willingness to be uncomfortable. But I also like the way that Dallas put it in his quote where he says it's to be free from what has bound you. Because again, that's a reminder, like what binds us isn't something we can directly address. We can't untie our own wrists from whatever it is that's there. It's just a slow process. And then I think maybe one day, years down the road, I might wake up to the fact that I'm bobbing along in the river and I'm not being consumed by the waterfalls anymore. And that's a really good feeling. But it's also not something that happens overnight, and that sucks.
It's a wonderful thought. Thank you. So whatever's going on for you right now, just pause, take a deep breath. Think about that branch that for the moment is caught in the cataract, and to be willing to just accept, I feel uncomfortable right now. There is this pain. I care for a person that's in a difficult situation. I have anxiety. I feel depression. I'm facing this problem. I can't make it go away, but I can accept it. Welcome, Wilma. I think about that woman who named her anxiety Wilma and just learned to say, I accept it. I welcome you because I cannot make you go away. And I am not you. So today, be willing to be uncomfortable and find God in the place where you are. Thank you. Second thoughts about discomfort.
Ruby, baby. Didn't know. That was
Didn't
really
know that
like
was coming.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Hi, I'm Tim. Thanks for joining us here at Become New. We hope that these videos help you to grow spiritually one day at a time. If you'd like to find more resources, you can go to our website, becomenew.com. There you can sign up for the daily emails that go along with each video. You can access our full library of videos there. And you can let us know if you're interested in some of the upcoming leadership resources that we're working on right now. If you've got a prayer request, we would love to pray for you. You can text us that request at 855-888-0444. Our team meets daily Monday through Friday to pray for those requests. And so thanks for letting us come alongside you in your spiritual growth journey. We'll see you next time.